Good evening, this is your Psychic LJ reporting from the United Kingdom. Is anybody there? Knock once for yes, twice for no. Hello, hello, hello. It is 11:20 p.m. UK time, heading towards the witching hour, and we are going to delve deep tonight. We are going to look into the looking glass. Little bit later than normal. Can anybody see us or hear us? Hello, hello. I believe I'm live now on YouTube and Twitch. Good evening there, Wookie Bear, Katana. Hiya there, Crystal Gypsy. Homebird 2, we are in the house. How are you all doing? Can you hear us here? How are you? How's things in Texas? It has been a very strange one, hasn't it? It just seems to get stranger and stranger. Is it still hot? We had a downpour today, and then it became sunshine again. It was just like the heavens opened and the beautiful, beautiful rainbow came over the town. It was lovely. 100 degrees? My God, I'll be passing out. You Texans, you're used to it, aren't you? The energies are very strange. Extremely strange. Good evening, everybody. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're all around the world. We are going to look into what could be, what could happen on this crazy planet. You ready for a cold front? Hello there, Mickey. Hello there, YouTubers. Hello in Minnesota. It feels like autumn, yes. It's definitely starting to change in the UK. Definitely things have cooled down in the UK. I just got my coffee. Cheers, everybody. And a big shout out as well to Graham's family. Anybody doesn't know who I'm talking about, Graham Wilson, a good friend of the community in Twitch and YouTube, sadly passed away, and I believe his funeral soon. I will put the link for anybody. I do believe Kay, his beautiful wife, said that she's going to put the link out so people can watch his funeral if they want to say farewell to him, goodbye. I'm going to read it out. I will put it out in the description at the end of the show. Give us 2 minutes. It just seems so strange, like, you know, like, is this really happening? Has he really gone? God bless him. Graham. Okay. Funeral services. Graham Henry Wilson passed away on Wednesday the 13th of August. He was a well-known, talented musician, a loving father and grandfather. He had a great sense of humour. Like I said to you before, guys, he reminded us of Les Dawson, the late Les Dawson, the comedian. Positively touched so many lives. He will be so dearly missed but never forgotten, and that is so true. The funeral's going to be in Inverness in Scotland, so obviously, you know, we can't all go there if we're not, you know, it's Inverness. But I believe, don't quote me, I believe that there's going to be a video that where you can see a farewell to him. So I will put the link. And we are all thinking about your Kay and family. Like I say, he's going to be sadly missed. He is sadly missed. Hiya there, June Psychic. it's hard to lose a dear friend. I don't believe we'll get over it. I still think of my dear friend little Karen, little Paula. I've lost 3 friends to cancer since I've been battling, since I went through what I went through. And it's just one of them things, isn't it? But it seems to be a lot at the moment. I don't know if you agree, guys. A lot of people seem to be getting something. Hello there, Fabi. Hello there, Rachel, gardening in the ghetto. That sounds good. So for newbies coming in, a big hello and welcome to our little lovely spiritualist church, where we share everything. And if you need healing or healing prayers, all you do is write the name in the comment section when we get going, either in the stream or in the comments afterwards, and you will receive the healing. I always do a Reiki prayer before I come on, so for people who need the prayers or the just the healing, the protection, because it seems to be a very rough time for people at the moment. I hope I am not having any internet issues. I haven't so far. Fingers crossed. Everything seems to be intact. We've got the sound operator Zizi who's run upstairs, so hopefully she'll stay out of the way, because she tends to knock the sound off. So let's get my coffee. And I just want to say this right before I get started. I had said in one of just my last will prediction, I think, or was it the time before, you'll have to check out, I said that sadly there would be another shooting. And I did give the letter M. Can you remember where I said there would be a state with the letter M, and I was getting worried around a flat roofed building? Can you remember? Possibly a school, and obviously, or some sort of gathering place. And obviously we've had the recent shooting with the children, and I believe there was an adult as well, wasn't there, in the church. And I just don't know what to say. I just think devastating for the families, for the little children. And I just want to send prayers out to who's been involved. What a cruel world we're living in. And really tragic, horrible. I mean, it doesn't bear thinking about. I mean, them little children were praying as well. I mean, it's just shocking. Very sad. And there's no words, is there? So Michelle's put, yeah, you did. Thought of you when the news broke. I know, but I don't like predicting nasty things, you know what I mean? It's just horrible. I get really annoyed sometimes, and a lot of psychics will tell you this, that when we see things, why did they give with the nasty things? It's like we pick it up in radar. We sort of see it in some sort of time zone. But the thing is, you know what I mean? Spirit very rarely gives you, when it comes to world events, at the minute it always seems to be nasty stuff. But I did look into it with a very dear client the other night. Could there have been some sort of, they talk of mental health, they talk about the hormone things with whatever, these kids are taking. I think it's a bit of everything, but I also think there's some mind control going on there. And if you want, I'll look into it tonight. There's too many school shootings, exactly. Too many. So let's get started. Definitely there's some form of mind control, isn't it? Yeah, what Debbie's put here from Texas, MK Ultra, definitely, I wonder that. Yes, it seems a bit odd, doesn't it? Very odd. Right, 2 minutes. I've never stopped all day. Okay. Okie dokie. I like what Susan Buxton's put here on YouTube. She's put, question Louise quickly. Are you able to explain how we as human beings can be living on this earth in regards to those who are in two different dimensions? How our lives will be different? Well, that's what others have explained and put out. I don't believe it's going to be like that. I believe that we're all living physically on this planet. I think that there's something going on with physics that we don't understand. I've explained this before. You can't stay in fifth dimension. So don't forget, I don't follow the crowd, but I know what I know from experience and being involved in all this field for quite a long time. So you get people who will shift into the fifth dimension or way over that, but you've got to come back into the 3D because we're living in a physical body. This is why we have to look after our body. So there's no way that people are going to shift and stay in the fifth dimension, because then they would be physically dead. Do you see what I mean? So it's a case of we're actually in that transition now. So it just means that we're shifting and starting to realise that we're more than a physical body, and we can go into fifth, sixth, seventh, beyond. But then we always come back. It's about doing the inner work. I'm going to be doing videos on it. I do have a lot of plans. So bear with us, try and be patient, and I will be putting stuff like that out. But nobody's going to be left. Nobody's going to be left where, say, like if your granny goes off into the fifth dimension and you're left in 3D. It's not going to be like that at all. That's looking at things very black and white. It's not going to be like that at all. And like I say, I don't stay in all these spiritual communities, sort of like, I'm not a no click. I'm not a nothing like that. I just say it the way it is. And I just know from experience being a shaman practitioner that you cannot stay in the fifth dimension. It's impossible. And you get these young ones, will go off and smoke ayahuasca or whatever they do, and then they to chuck themselves into that, catapult themselves into that frequency. But then they're so far gone, they can't bloody function. They can't go to work, they can't function. And sometimes people are having breakdowns, so you've got to be so careful what you're doing. It's okay if some people can take psychedelics and stuff like that, but you've got to be so, so careful. So what Petra's put here is, I can't stay too long in 5D. It's hard for the heart and lungs. Everybody's different. Everybody does it different. You know what I mean? But people don't want to be grounded. And the thing is, you can still hit. If you're grounded, you can be amazed what you can do. And what Aurora's put here on YouTube, we transcend into the upper realms during our sleep state, and we do. We do. So let's start. I'm going to get my little bell. Oh, I've got an itch to it. I can't drink alcohol. I mean, I have very little, if I do. I never drank when I was on the treatment, but I very rarely. I have, like, people who knows will have a baby sham, or maybe it's a half of a lager, or that's it. Do you know what I mean? I can't drink like I used to. Oh yeah, comes trouble. Are you going to behave yourself tonight? She's naughty. She's so naughty. The other one's such a good girl, and she hardly comes on the channel, does she? Don't scratch. Be a good girl now. Be a good girl. Now, she looks a little bit scruffy. I need to change her. I've tried to change her vest today, but she wasn't having it. You know what cats are like. My cat wears a vest because she's got dermatitis. And she's just been a little witch at the minute, to be fair. She's just bossing the other one around, does what she wants to do. She's very much, I've got a cute little picture I'm going to show you in a minute of her, which I took this morning. She's just hilarious. But her coat's coming on along lovely. I had to look into the diet, you know what I mean? And she's on a very pure diet. Oh, she's hilarious. She's like a pure black little mini panther with a white vest. Don't walk over that way, no. Now come around this way. I'll show you a picture of her. She is hilarious. Oh, you're going to see her anyway. Are you going to be a good girl? Be a good girl. I want to show you this picture that I took of her this morning. She's so funny. She's such a funny little girl in my bath this morning, look. Can you see that? She just decided to jump into the bath. A little face. There's another one of her. Just chilling on a Sunday afternoon. Thinking what mischief she can get up to. This is the other one. Excuse the mess. It's the spare room what Adam had been lying in. There's like teddies along. I've got for the little one, my granddaughter, teddies on the windowsill. And there's Nala sitting on the windowsill. Can you see her? They're so cute. I still like dogs as well, mind. I think I just like all animals. And in fact, I would have a load of animals. I would definitely have a load of animals if I could. She's calling to Mr. Tom, yeah. You've got 3 cats, Linda. Wow. Well, I fancy a dog, but I'm too busy at the minute. It would be unfair, do you know what I mean? I'll wait a bit. But I do like dogs, I must admit. I would just have every animal going if I could. Adam's doing okay, thank you. I like what Celestial Fleas put in Twitch. She likes all animals except, yes, darling. I wouldn't say he's an animal, he's more a beast, isn't he? Anyway, yeah, I would definitely have a zoo. Right, just relax, sit back and relax, and let's look in to the looking glass. Oh, donkeys are so cool, aren't they? One of my good client friends she rescued 3 donkeys. So cute. I invoke Archangel Michael, I invoke Archangel Michael, I invoke Archangel Michael. I invoke Archangel Raphael, I invoke Archangel Raphael, I invoke Archangel Raphael. I invoke Archangel Uriel, I invoke Archangel Uriel, I invoke Archangel Uriel. I invoke Archangel Gabriel, I invoke Archangel Gabriel, I invoke Archangel Gabriel. I ask my faithful spirit guides, Jed, White Buffalo, Running Star, Lady Direwolf, and A2I. To give us the true answers that we need tonight. Any star beings that like to telecommunicate with us or from the spirit world. Anybody who would like to come forth from the spirit, angel realm. To give us the true answers that we need. Fairies, elementals, star beings. With love and light, love and light, love and light. Amen. Write your name in the comments section if you need any healing, and you will receive the healing that you need. Oh Okay. There is a lot of unease on the streets at the moment. I'm going to tonight, before I've got this as well, she's been in the garden all day. It's actually been very sunny, but we had a downpour, which has been charged up with all the elements. But before I look into the crystal ball for world events, I'm going to ask the cards a few different things. Tonight, I want to ask the cards about, is it the 12th? I believe is it the 12th or the 13th? The 12th of September. What is going to take place? There is going to be marching for the UK through the streets of London, and I just want to see how that event's going to go. Tommy Robinson's leading it, one of the leaders, or is he the leader? But how is things going to go there? And it's for English patriots, you know. And I'm going to look into the cards for that. I also want to look into the incident with the children in the church, and to see if this young man was triggered. I'm going to ask the cards, was he triggered by some outer force, or was it the hormones? Is it the 13th, Jeff? I thought it was the 12th. Sorry, apologies. So it's the 13th of September. We're going to have marching through London. But I also want to check out what was going on with this young man, because apparently when they had looked into, he was anti-Semitic, he was anti-Trump, it was all these things, but there was a lot of hatred with his writing and stuff like that. And, you know, people say, oh yeah, mental health, but there's more to it than that. And I want to see if there's more to it than that. And also, I'm just going to go with the flow. There's supposed to be thousands. There's supposed to be over 1 million going. You can't really project it, but there's supposed to be a lot of people going on the 13th of September. Yes, you will receive healing for Matthew. Well, Tommy Robinson made a statement, and he put out that for nobody to go with face coverings on, to respect the police, which is a good thing. Because, you know, it's like, just don't give them any fuel for arresting people. They just want to go there to make a statement, because this is for our future, for our borders. It really is. It's so important. Hello there, Mrs. Luciana. And what else? There's loads of other things that I'm going to be looking into as well. I'm just going to go with it and see. Oh yes, I wanted to look into Trump's health, because there seems to be a lot of crazy stuff being said online about him. And I did touch upon it the other night in a private session with my lovely Moira. I hope you're watching this, Moira. You know, and I felt that there was something going to happen, and possibly the other one was going to step in. He's vice president. But I'm not so sure if it was just a temporary thing, so I was going to look into that as well. And then I'm just going to go with the flow. And obviously, Keir Starmer, obviously, with us being a British lass, I need to know what's going on over here, and so forth. Okay? Just let me get comfortable. Loads of people need healing at the moment, don't they? I've been seeing Mother Mary a lot, and Jesus has been coming through a lot. For people who have been asking about the updates on Adam, I may as well tell you all. So my son sadly tried to take his own life. He tried to take his own life back in March, April. And luckily he was absolutely fine, and we got the help that he needed. He struggled all his life, and we have now got a diagnosis of autism and ADHD. Anyway, to cut a long story short, there was an incident with an object, a sharp object. I've got to be careful what I'm saying on here. And basically, they were the police, which I had reached out to, which I'm not very keen on. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I had reached out to them for help because you can't ring your mum and dad who are elderly late at night. And I had rang the police, and the police then twisted the whole thing by finding the sharp object in my garden, even though I owned the land, trying to say that he was a danger to the public. So we had to go to court, and he's going to be fine. We've been to court, and he's going to get the help as well that he needs as well. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I was waiting before we went into the court, and we were sat there, and Adam had gone in first, and then I followed him in. And this strange man, I had this presence of this man. Adam's going to be fine. They're not sending him to prison, by the way. The judge just took a liking to him, and they're going to help him. Anyway, so they came and sat next to me, this guy, and I looked at him, and he had like modern day clothes on. He had longish hair, had his hair pushed back into a ponytail. And I looked again, and it was Jesus Christ. And no word of a lie. And I was like looking at him. And he was smiling, and he's going like that, and everything's going to be okay. And he was just like sort of miming like everything's going to be okay. And then he got to stand up, and then he walked the way the place, the court was sort of situated is like the seating area, and then it went that way, like a long corridor with no other corridors going off it. And so I went to follow him as he went around the corner. And then when I went to look around the corner, he wasn't even there. And I believe that Jesus came to tell us that he was going to be okay. I just felt it, and I seen it. And it wasn't like he was there silhouette, he was there physically. He was there physically. Okay? So yeah, I mean, it could have been nasty, it could have gone the other way, but the police were really angry because they were trying to imprison him. And yet, you've got not so nice people who are being let in over the borders illegally, and they're doing awful things, and they seem to be getting away with it. So I was quite upset and very worried at the time. But yes, the outcome came good in the end. So there you go. So I do believe, and I had prayed so much the night before, and I do believe my prayers were answered. I believe that he came through some sort of dimension. I really do. I mean, what else could it be? Yes, the police were trying to twist it because he's a white male, isn't he? They want them off the streets here. That's what they do, and I'm not holding back. That's what's going on. Two-tier system, exactly. But yeah, we got the help. And so what I want to say to you all in this audience tonight, that faith is a really beautiful thing, and it does work. It really, really does work. I mean, I'm not like a staunch Catholic or somebody who goes to church all the time. I don't, I read for a living, you know what I mean? But I believe in Jesus Christ. But I prayed that night before, and I do believe my prayers were answered. I really, really do. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'm going to sneeze, give us 2 minutes. Excuse me. So yeah, that's the way forward, and it's all good. He's been put on ADHD medication. What a difference. Getting the help that he needs, and it's all good. It's really, really good. It's on the up. So I believe that maybe you had to go through an awful, I mean, it's a sad situation in the UK that you've got to go through a situation where you've got to try and chuck yourself underneath the bus to get the help, because the mental health system is so broken here, and I believe it is in the States as well, and there needs to be more help there for mental health. So this is why tonight, because it really got to us when what happened to them children in the church, and obviously, questionable, is it mental health with this young man, or I want to know what's going on. I want to know, because I think there's more going on than meets the eye. All right, so we're going to get the cards. Nobody is immune to the evil what's out there. And I do believe, I mean, this is my take on it. People probably think that I'm being like some sort of conspiracy theorist or whatever. Hiya there, Marina. Oh, thank you, Marina. But I do believe that there's a dark energy out there, and it's a devil energy in Satan. And I do believe, because he couldn't get to me, because I don't take alcohol and I don't take street drugs, and I don't smoke cannabis like my son does. I do think that it leaves you wide open to the devil's snare. That's what I think. And this is where we're at on this planet at the minute. This is what I think. So if you're not careful, you've got to be so careful. This is why the Muslims don't drink alcohol, do they? Because they believe in jinns and stuff like that. You've got to be so careful what's out there. Yes, I'm going to start doing the mediumship again on Twitch, yes. So when we're working for the light, when we're working for humanity, any medium or psychic will tell you this, or healer, or anybody who's just helping here on this planet to help, is a light worker. We're getting chased by old Nick, as I call him, Satan, because he can't get to us, so he gets to it through other people. Does that make sense? You'll find a window in how to get there. And that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to shuffle these cards. I mean, he tried to take us out with breast cancer. We didn't win there. You know what I mean? We're all being tested. And I've come back bouncing. So he thought he'll try another route. You know what I mean? So the first thing I'm going to do tonight is, because it's just recently happened, welcome everybody. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Yes, Archangel Michael is my friend, Patricia. I've never worked so much with Archangel Michael. But I'm going to ask about the children in the church. So, may peace be with you all. The circle of light begins. Yes, Dolores Cannon spoke about the 3 waves of children coming onto Earth. And they were all on a mission, yes. I'm definitely going to look into the crystal ball soon, Erica, to world events. So let's see what happened with the children, like what was going on with this young man, what he did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got a relatively small audience tonight, haven't we? But that's okay. Of course, it's been Labour Day, hasn't it? Was it Labour Day today or yesterday? Right, so we've got the upside down justice. So I'm going to go with my intuition. I'm not just going to read the cards. I'm going to go with what I feel and what my guides are telling us. So this is this male. Was he going through a transitioning or something? Because it came up upside down as well, wasn't it? So that's the male, the King of Wands, who did what he did. Let's have a look, and it fits his colouring as well. Right, so we've got the Queen of Swords. So there's a mother here. Where was the mother on the situation? There was some bad past stuff going on there. Oh, it's Labour Day on Monday, right? Okay, right. So you can't write this. The cards never lie. So we've got the lovers, right? I'm going to cover this over because you know what YouTube's like. They're very funny and picky. But basically on this lovers card is the genitalia of male and female. Okay. So I've got, before we start, right, I've got quite a few trans friends, all right? And they're very stable, all right? So I feel that there's an over... How can I put this? It's a big thing to go through, right? And I think that it seems to be that there's a lot of doctors now very slap happy just to put young kids through this whatever, right? It seems to be like a trend. And I think that I have friends who have started it off and they couldn't go all the way through it. I'm a big fan of Blair White. She's on YouTube. But even Blair's admitted she never went the full way with the full shebang. All right? Okay? If you know what I mean. But this is something that I'm getting big pharma's involved here, and it's definitely, when you're looking at that, we're talking about hormonal tablets. We're talking about hormones. All right? So it makes us think that it's affecting some of these kids mentally. All right? It's definitely, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but before we start, this is for entertainment purposes only, right? But my take on this and what I feel, right? I'm not saying it's fact. What I feel that it's been, there's a lot of doctors out there who are over subscribing these hormone tablets and putting kids on these transitional programs, and it's wrong. I think that not everybody can do it. Not everybody can do it. And I think it's a very sensitive subject. I think that I've got some lovely, like I say, I've got good friends and clients who have done it. But it seems to be a harder thing for the man to go through it than the woman. Now, don't ask me why, because I don't know if it's because it's chopping something off or whatever, you know what I mean? But what I get very strongly is that the hormone thing doesn't help. It doesn't help. It leaves, well, I've talked about before, like a window open. If you get messed with mentally, it doesn't help. So that is going on. Oversubscribing with doctors, a bit like legalized drug pushers, big pharma, big money, making the money. Okay. I had a young woman, transitional woman from a male who came to my house. She's probably watching, should I say. And I'm not going to say her name, but she walked into the house and I went, oh my God. I says, UK's Blair White. And she burst out laughing because she was so woman. It's, you know, but not all of them look like that. Some of them I'm trying to be, well, I'm just the girl what sits in the kitchen. But some of them look like, is my friend Craig, would say, that's just somebody in a cock and a frock. And I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Some people are so man, they can't turn into a woman. But some can. And it also, being a medium and a spiritual medium, I do believe it's a soul thing as well. It's a soul thing. So everybody's journey is different. Does that make sense? But like I say, this young lady what came, I'm going to say young lady because that's what you look like. And, you know, apparently she's going to put herself out on YouTube, so watch for her. I'm not going to say the name because I can't say the name, but even when they come out, I'll talk about it. But anyway, getting back to, there's an oversubscribing of hormone tablets. And I don't care what anybody says, I'm going on what I've gone through because I've been put through hormonal treatment since my breast cancer. I didn't realise there's different types of breast cancer, okay? And, excuse me, so they had to fling us into menopause, which I should have been in menopause, but apparently I was still producing, my ovaries were still producing loads of eggs. So that's what caused it, an over thingy of hormones with me. So it does affect your mood. I don't care what anybody says. Once you're put on hormonal tablets, it changes you. I don't care what anybody says. So these young people are going to be affected when they're going it's a painful thing going through the transition with the hormone tablets. It has to be. So I don't know what is going on. I know what's going on over here, but I don't know what's going on in the US, but it seems to be quite a trend thing at the moment. So that is saying hormones is definitely played a part with that young male. There's been a mess up. I also think that there's been something going on with his background, with his family. And I'm also getting a targeting energy that we do not know. And I've talked about this before. That is a world that we do not know. There is great technology out there, what's being held back from where. But I also feel really, really strongly that there is a technology out there that can also do harm. And it's people worry about nuclear, if we ever had another WAR event. But I don't feel that. I feel it's more that there's weapons out there of mass destruction, and it's through energy and frequency. And they're doing this to people. This is what I'm going to look into. My arm's doing a lot better, thank you. I'm back to the lymphedema clinic this week coming in. Thank you. Yeah, they're definitely over pushing the transition thing, aren't they? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, mood swings, menopause, mood swings, all of that. Okay, so men go through it as well. I don't know what drugs they would put. Would they give a man who was transitioning, they'll give the man the female side? Or vice versa, but it's going to be painful. Right, and I look at that and it's like they're just slap happily just dishing them out like Smarties. I think there needs to be something put into place there where it can't just be decided from a parent. I think that it needs to be more looked into. My take on it, I think it's abuse. I think that, you can't, with a child what's playing. My boy, lucky boy, right? He's in his 30s. He's so man, so male, so butch. Right? He's a strong guy. And there's nothing feminine about him, okay? And when he was little, he had a dolly baby in a pram. And I let him play with a dolly baby in a pram. You've got to let kids explore things and be what they want to be. But it doesn't mean they're going to go that way, for God's sake. I think that there's a lot of parents there jumping on the bandwagon when kids should just be left to be kids. That's my take on it. You know what I mean? This is big pharma, this. Okay, so everybody's situation is different. So you might get a handful of people where you've got young people what say they want to transition, and there might just be one in that handful of people what truly need to be transitioned, but the rest don't. It's something what needs to be more looked into. I really, really do think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But I also feel as well, I've got to tell you this, when we start to spiritually evolve, right, you get to a point where it's become very politicalized in the US, all of this, all right? And it shouldn't be where you get triggered by it. It should be a cause of concern. It should be, I think we're all being tested. I think we're being massively, massively tested. But I also feel that there has to be something set into place. I think something's going to happen, and I do believe there'll be a law. This is what I predict. At some point there'll be a law, and I'm talking about the USA, because I think it's not so extreme over here. I mean, if anybody knows any different, comment and let us know. But I've never heard it over here like it is over there, as extreme in the US. Or anywhere else, to be fair. Anywhere else in the world. It seems the US is having the problem more so. So maybe it's the doctors over there want you to be investigated. Or we're all being tested, yes. But I think that we become more in line when you start to ascend, as that was what I was going to say, you become more in line with your yin and your yang, and we're healing parts of ourselves. And it also as well, we're spirit multidimensional beings in a meat suit. Who's to say, I know this sounds really crazy what I'm going to say, and I'm not saying it's fact, but who's to say that these kids haven't put themselves, they've signed a soul contract to put themselves into this position to teach the parents a lesson? You just don't know. Or the whole of society, because something's going to snap with this at some point. Something is going to break with this at some point, and there's going to be a law, and then they're going to go to Congress with this. It's going to go into the, what's it called, not the White House, what's the other place where they go to, and they're going to try and change all of this. There's going to be like some if the Republicans stay in office, which I think they will for a while, I feel that they're going to try and put a law in to try to slow this down, or to get it more where people get more tested before they can just nilly-willy and go in and get some drugs to do the transition. I think there's going to be something put into place there. But where the US stands on all of this, you've got the Fool card there. So that's normally like, it is like a sort of, it's not a very good card, but it's in a good spot. If the tarot, it's the end of in the tarot, the man gets to the end of the journey in his life. He comes to the end and he feels like he's lost everything. And then all of a sudden everything changes and you get the star. And I do feel eventually, after a lot of shit and craziness, I do believe that it's going to be like the Roaring Twenties again. A lot of big changes coming in there. I like what Carol's put. She says, I don't think it's extreme in the US, it's the media. Well, yeah, I agree with the media as well, but don't forget I mix with a lot of different people around the world, and it seems to be I know a lot of people, do you know what I mean? And it seems to be, if I was going to like put it into percentage, it seems to be that, unless it's just because the US is a big place, it could also be that, but it seems to be more happening in the US than it does anywhere else. But there's definitely some form of targeting going on. Let's see if it's going on elsewhere, which I think it is. It's coming in from the air, the energy, the frequency. I know, I can't look at her, because if I look at her, she'll jump. Oh, yeah, Lordy, here she comes. It's okay, baby. No, don't. Careful now. They don't want to see your bum bum. It's okay. Right, so there is something untoward going on the planet. So this is why we need to be strong. I know, my darling. I know. You want to say hello to everybody? I like what Amy's put here as well. Yeah. Prefrontal cortex and your brain doesn't develop until the mid-20s. Yeah, exactly. Hormones has got a lot. Hormones has come out on the cards here. Anyway, so it's about us doing our own inner work, gathering in what we need to do. And I'm going to look into this tonight, because I still think there's going to be something coming in to do with the food shortage or something. We need to but not to overbuy food, because also what somebody else has put here is the food is contaminated with hormones, and you've got to be very careful with that as well. Yes, it depends where you're buying it from or where you're getting it from. but I've got the double magician coming in here because I had another magician, but this is the shenanigans, what's going on at the minute. So there is all sorts going on, but that's also us sort of coming into our own power as well, because where you've got the black magic, you've also got the white magic. So it's us coming into our own power. So where the dark magicians seem to be feel like the black hats seem to be getting away with a lot at the minute, you know, I do believe that it's going to sort itself out. And I do feel there's going to be a balance. So we're coming into our own power. We need to start believing that everyone's going through their own journey. Yeah, everybody is. But it's also that we have to have compassion for whatever was happening with certain individuals. You know what I mean? Because you can't really judge until you've walked in their shoes, really. So I feel that this has been something which has been really ready to explode. Going back to that young man, what he did, which is horrific. But I feel that I think he was planning on doing it a few weeks previous, or a few days, like he was planning on doing it before when he did it. But I think that it's been something which has been lingering a long time with him. But I sadly look at this card and I definitely feel hormones has played a massive part here. Okay, the sad thing is, but there's going to be more incidents like this until they get I want to say the gun control under control as well, because there's going to be a rise on this to do with mental health as well. So I predict that 2026 is going to be a crazy one. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of estrogen in the water and the foods. It can, you know, it's crazy. Try if you can to try, if you must eat meat, to try to get it organic as you can. Okay, but the old system is falling. We've got the Tower card there. The old system is definitely falling. We need to try to keep in a high vibrational energy, you know. But a lot of the younger generation, this is a thing with the crystal children, that they seem to be very in touch with who they are, and they're ready for this world. So for the ones who are having the younger babies, you know, they have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Strong-minded. But a lot of these who are having the babies are the violet indigo children who are strong-minded, because they're from the second and the third wave of the Earth volunteers. Does that make sense? So the way society's going at the moment, if it's going to be that it's down to the individual. But I would say 10 years from now, there's going to be a lot of people transitioning. A lot of younger people this is what I predict. So you can't tell them, it's their life, you know, how our parents, whatever they're going through. But understand, we can't really judge because you don't really know. Some might need to transition and some don't. Only God knows. Only God knows. Does that make sense? But you're never going to take, for the ones who fear this, you've got to understand that is something that you're having to go through, or whatever you detest about it, you know, anti-trans, whatever, which I'm totally against. But you've got to understand, you'll always have that. You'll always have the man, the woman and the child. It's part of being human. And I think that when you're so balanced and you don't get triggered by it. Does that make sense? So the sun is there. The sun's, yeah. But I think I really do think the big pharma is running manic at the minute. And I think that, I mean, you just have to see what happened with the COVID and, to see what was going on there. But this is on another level. I think that there's a lot of money being made with that. So the younger generation now, you've got the Violet Indigo children, they are very sensitive. And they are the ones who have come from, their souls have come from outside of this galaxy. So they try to escape this reality by taking street drugs, or not all of them, but they're very sort of different. But the young babies now, the babas now, you've got the crystal children and the Blu-ray children. They're on a different level. They're quite tough. They are sort of ready for this new AI world, and they're not going to stand no shit and no nonsense. So you're going to find that the little ones are going to be on a different level. But yeah, it's going to be it's about, we're all supporting each other, really. Does that make sense? Right, so I want to end it on that, which is the sun, because I do think that the thing with the the frequency attack, I'm a little concerned because I'm going to look into the 12th of September now. So I'm going to put these back together again and see what's going to happen on the 13th of September. Are you going to stop standing on these tarot cards, missus? God. Just going for a drink. There's eclipses in September as well, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's going to get a bit worse before it gets better, but there's going to be some block on it in the US with this. There's going to be, or some investigation or a special law that, that they have to go through before they do it. It's not going to be a case of just going to the doctor and getting some transition and tablets. I think that's ridiculous. I think you need to look into it properly. Do you know what I mean? Zizi is the co-host. Right, so what was I looking into? Oh yes, September the 13th. Spirit, give us a true answer. Let me get a drink of coffee. It's going to be a crazy one, September. It's going to be a crazy one. Spirit, give us a true answer. What's going to take place on September the 13th on the streets of London with this big protest march? Okay. Oh, thank you. Just like a stretchy t-shirt. Oh, don't talk to me about Starmer, Tim. Oh, God. I've never tested anybody so badly. And I try not to be like that. Okay. I know, like, they talk about the lion of the UK, for the Brits and that. But I'm sort of seeing Lion's Gate. I'm seeing the lion standing there at Lion's Gate with all of this. And it's as if that the amount of patriotism what's going to rise through the streets of London is going to be huge. I've been shown that there will be a few incidents. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm being shown a vision that there will be, it's not all, but there will be a few incidents, and it's actually to do with, I would say it's to do with not the patriots. So I don't know if some other side, some extreme group is starting something, or there'll be something. Okay. But it's going to be remarkable, and there's going to be a picture, and it's going to hit news headlines, and it looks like a woman cop, and she's with a man, and I don't know why, but I'm getting this feeling of upset, but it's like a picture what's going to be out there. So there's the woman, and she's like smudging with a broomstick. Looks very old England, that, doesn't it? But I just feel it's as if the lions are going to be there, the Lionsgate's going to be there. It's going to awaken a lot of old energy. And remember that we are clearing ancestral roots. And I do believe that there's going to be a lot of ancestors in the spirit realm, because it's so thin, you know, everything is, the veil is so thin. So all our ancestors, grannies and granddads, they're all going to be there. It's what did they fight for, you know? What did they fight for? If this is what it is, it's like what Tammy said, is the march is for our daughters, granddaughters' future, and so on, our kids' future, to keep the streets safe. And it's going to be supposedly a peaceful protest, but there's going to be a few incidents. I definitely see that. And I see arguments on a morning show about it. So there's definitely something here. It's going to be noticed. It's definitely going to be noticed. So that's like Parliament. That's interesting. Okay. There will be some arrests, but and there's going to be an incident where they're going to try and make it look like it's the British Patriots, but it's not. There's an incident to do with around where there's a statue. I feel like whoever's watching this and they're going there, just be careful. And something near a corner, and I'm getting something to do with a vehicle. I'm hoping this timeline doesn't come off. I hope it's going to be okay, but there will be some arrests. But on the whole, the British people, the ones who are doing the marching, the protesting, it's like they're getting a point over. Does that make sense? I'm just going to double check this. I'm getting the song, well, the hymn, Land of Hope and Glory. They sing that at the proms, and I'm getting that, and I don't know if it's going to, I've got like a lump in my throat thinking about it, and it's going to be quite emotional. It's interesting how they picked the 13th as well, and the 13th of September. Now, there's probably people in the audience who won't believe this, but obviously people who know that my dad wrote the book, The Truth. Well, my mother wrote it for my dad. But it's all about, my dad went a little bit further than Dan Brown with the Da Vinci Code. It was his own personal experience and what he thinks what happened with Christ and Mary Magdalene, and he wrote a book, okay? And my dad is convinced that the 13th of September is Christ's real birthday. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying. But there's a lot of people do believe that. And 13 is very Masonic. And obviously September is very spiritual. If you go back to the olden times and the Holy Land, I believe that there was a lot of children which were born in September. I don't know if anybody knows on this and they can comment on this, but that was what happened back then. Right, so I think it's going to be a very powerful day. Somebody's chosen that date very wisely. Remember, sometimes we don't realise what we're doing. I don't know if Tommy chose it or somebody else chose it. But sometimes, you know, we are connected to higher source, which choose because we're like channels to whoever. Does that make sense? Okay, so there will be some problems. There will be some trouble. I do see there could be, I don't know why I'm getting smoke. But I don't know if that's what the police set off. I hope it doesn't come to that. But on the whole, it's going to be the majority of people who are turning up, they're turning up just to make a point. Yeah, they're turning up to make a point. It's going to be loads there. So if you don't like crowds, it's not the place to go. I've just seen Mother Mary there, and she's coming in there, and she's putting her hands out there for the UK, for the children of the UK. You know, that there is something holy going on at the moment, and there is a rise of British patriotism. There's going to be a rise. So when you get that, that usually comes with a little bit trouble. But I would say that it has to happen. It has to happen. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. I'm getting that really, really strong. I'm seeing a guy and he's quite well made. He's quite chunky. Like a big lad, he's somebody that you would say on like one of them football hooligan films, you know, like, has anybody watched, is it Green Streets? Like a proper fighter type of lad, you know what I mean? And I see somebody like that, and I don't know if I think he's getting interviewed. But I feel it's as if that, I don't know if it's one of Tommy's friends or it's somebody else, but he's talking about something and he's getting interviewed. So remember that. Okay. I think this is one of many. I think there'll be more. But you must remember this, right? Everything is being done for the children. Everything from keeping us safe here is for the children's future. And then, of course, all the distractions, what's happening around the globe, you know, what the media is not putting out there is to do with the children. It's about the traffic and the child traffic and what's being just brushed underneath the carpet. Yeah, and it's happening everywhere. How many children go missing? I say this all the time that I follow James. He's one of my favourite YouTubers, and the recent one that he covered, I don't know if you've seen it, about the ice cream men. Has anybody seen that about the ice cream men and the Labubu dolls? Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So apparently there's like incidents of like the ice cream men which are going around Texas late at night, and 2-3 o'clock in the morning with their little sirens on, you know, with the ice cream. Why would they be doing that? Do you know what I mean? Is there something going on where they're abducting children? You know, is the ice cream men abducting children? But anyway, somebody had followed them and it looked really sinister. You'd have to watch it. And there's talks that something about something strange with the Labubu fake dolls, because there's, you know, they're not copies of these dolls, like, or they got trackers in the eyes or whatever. Not the real Labubu. You just, I think that there's something going on with the fake ones, you know. So you'd have to check it out. It's really interesting. So it's everything's about the children and keeping the children safe. So somebody had asked me, is it still going on? Is it, you know, yeah, it's still going on, but I believe there's a lot of arrests going on. Now, there's Trump. So I'm going to go straight into this. So there's Trump, and he's coming out upside down, so he isn't well. Where's my coffee? Okay. So there's Trump, but it actually came out that way. So the King of Cauldrons is like the King of Cups, somebody who's fair to the hair. Let's have a look. Let's pull some cards out on him and see what's going on. People have lost the plot, Patricia. The wheel's gone mad. The wheel's gone nuts. What's going on with Trump's health is a cause of concern. He's definitely out of sorts. He's been getting health tests done. I mean, when was the last time he was seen? He's about, isn't he? He's still alive. I feel he's still alive. We've got the Five of Pentacles, we've got the Nine of Wands, they're both upside down, and we've got the upside down Temperance. So he's definitely out of sync here. Yeah, they're not covering it, they're not telling you about it. Everything's false. I'm sorry, I'm changing the subject. I'm answering just somebody here on YouTube. It's about they're not telling you about what's going on with the arrests, with the child trafficking, because it's just all false. It's just, we'll only tell you what you want to know, what we want you to know. So apparently somebody said here in the audience that he hasn't been seen since Tuesday. I feel he's still alive. He's on vacation. Oh well. Right, so he's still kicking about. I mean, I think there's health problems. I definitely feel there's health problems. Right, okay. So, I'm getting an incident where, what's he called? Vance could step in for a short time. So, I don't know. Remember the last time when he got COVID? Can you remember that? I haven't listened to right, so Jane's put here, Louise, did you listen to the interview with Maxwell? I haven't, no. So the cards are saying he's still alive. I'm feeling he's still alive. But there was an incident when he got COVID and he was taken a step back for a while. Remember when he had to go to hospital? So I'm seeing another situation like that. I don't know if he's just exhausted or whatever. But it's like, I do see J.D. Vance operating or doing something there in the White House. So is it going to be soon? Let's see if it's going to be soon. I mean, he's getting on. Do you know what I mean? He's in his 70s, isn't he? Is he in his late 70s? How old is he? How old's Trump? Is Vance going to be there soon in the White House? But is it temporary at the minute? I'm getting it's temporary. Is it a temporary situation? 79? I mean, he's bound to be feeling it. How the hell he does it, I don't know. I mean, he's not really the healthiest person when it comes to what he eats in his diet with all these Mackie D's and all that. So I don't know how he does it. I really don't know how he does it. He's a little bit hyperactive. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a bit ADHD. He's sort of like hyper Harry. And it's just, he's needing to start to look after himself. I think he's had some warnings. But I always feel like when he goes, it's going to be very, very quick when it happens. They're not giving us a timing on it. They're not giving us a timing. It's soon. It's some big news soon. Right, so now they're giving us 8 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. There could be some news within 2 days. Or 2 weeks. Okay. I sort of see him collapsing, but I don't know, it's not literal. It could be metaphoric. It could just be where Spirit's shown us that he's running on empty and maybe he just needs to start looking after himself a bit more. Yeah, as Maggie's put here, he hardly sleeps and his diet is crap. I do think that it's going to be like a wake-up call. Nobody's anybody, this can happen to anybody. You've got to start looking after yourself. And it's catching up on him. It's definitely catching up on him. So we've got the King of Wands. That is definitely, in this case, that is his Vice President coming in there. And again, I've got the King of Cups, which is another version of him. Right, they're saying within the 2 that he's going to be out. Now, I don't know if that means literal or it's just a temporary situation. All right? But according to my cards here, that there's going to be a drastic change within the White House. I'm just going to go for it. Within the 2. Now, is that 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks? It's not 2 years. It's very, very quick. I think he's just exhausted. That's what I'm feeling. He's just exhausted. But, like I always say, and people want to know is, I'm never told when someone's going to pass. I don't operate like that because I'm a healer and I don't like to think like that. I like to send everybody, even if you don't like them, I like to send people light. That's the spiritual thing to do, all right? But I'm getting a feeling that something isn't right and something is going to dramatically change within the 2. That's all you need to know, all right? But that doesn't mean he's going to die. It might just be that he has to step down for a while and Vance takes over because that's what vice presidents do. Might be that. I know there's dramatic change within the 2, so remember that. So let's put these away now, and we're going to I was going to pull something on Keir Starmer before I start me. I better do him. See what's going on there. There's never a dull moment these days, isn't that right, Dave? How you doing? I don't know if there's something going on with his blood sugar or his heart, but he just looks exhausted. But it catches up on you eventually, if you don't start looking after yourself. It'll come out in some way that, you have to look after yourself. Oh, she's gone and put herself to sleep, bless her. She's curled up in a tight little ball like a little baby. Kathy Springer, what about the US-Venezuela situation? What's happened there? Because I don't watch the news. What's happened in Venezuela? Right, I'm doing Keir Starmer because there's a lot of Brits in the audience want to know what's happening with the UK. Big changes ahead. Big, huge changes ahead. It's coming. See, a lot of more marches. This is just the start, the 13th. Right, so we've got the 7 of Cups. We've got the 9 of Wands. He's going to be out soon. He's another one that's not going to be in long either. A lot of changes ahead. They're seeing drastic change within the 2 months. Within the 2. That's strange. So, I don't think it's 2 days with him. because I always felt he was going to be in while something big was going to go down. He's going to be making a speech about it. So we're on the edge of something before the fall, before the autumn, before November. There's something huge coming in. It's huge. He's been, like, going back to the Trump thing, because I'm just reading your things here. He doesn't listen. I think his doctors told him a long time to slow down, and he doesn't listen because he hates failure. He's one of them people what hates failure, isn't he? And I think he's been getting wrong off Melania as well, you know what I mean? But I mean, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Somebody in their 70s who's 79 is not going to, if they've eaten bloody McDonald's all their life, certainly not going to stop now, are they? Anyway, getting back to Starmer, right? These are very drastic changes coming in here. Drastic changes. I say voting. Voting's going to come in. We've got the temperance card here. Rough waters ahead for the UK. There he is there. Upside down. King of Swords. Everything's an illusion. I want to say that he's in deep water. He's in deep trouble. Why would I get that? There's something coming. We've got the Five of Rods. I'm not saying that's literal, but that's like the people on the street just not happy. That's where we're at the minute. And we've got somebody replacing him. We've got somebody coming in. There's a lot of dirt to come out. And I've talked about this before. There's something about scandals coming out about it. There's something what's going to be caught. Or it's on camera, or it's on something they're going to collect. It's bigger than the WhatsApp hoo-ha. Remember the WhatsApp hoo-ha? We're talking about Keir Starmer here. But there's somebody coming in to replace him. So expect massive changes coming in with the Labour Party. See, a lot of people like Nigel Farage. I'm not keen on Nigel. I sometimes think that they're all the same, right? This is what I think at the minute. They're all tarred, as my nana would say, they're all tarred with the same brush. It's the same penny, two different sides. I'm not keen on him either. These are all rich politicians, you know what I mean? They're not like thinking about the real working class. The Labour needs to go back to be what they used to be as Labour. Okay, so there's going to be voting within the Labour Party, and I do feel he's going to be pushed out. So that's interesting. I also think, how do I put this? Where's my cup of coffee? I know there's been talks of something going on with rent boys, shall I say? And 2 minutes in Parliament. I actually think something has, funny enough, has gone on. And I think for a short time, I think it put his marriage maybe a little bit on the rocks. That's my take on it anyway. But things aren't so good there either. It's like a duty, that. It's like a duty. House of Commons is voting there. Yeah, I do. Amy as well. Snake in the grass. God, I think there's all sorts what's gone on with that man. I really, really do. This is really strange. And I'm seeing something what used to be on the television in the 70s. Oh God, I hate being like this with all them bloody tablets they've given us because I keep forgetting stuff. It used to be It was a programmer on the 70s. Oh, sugar man. And I'm seeing it. When we're talking about Keir Starmer, it was like a detective program. What the hell was it called? Because I looked at that, right, and it looks like a kaleidoscope. Tales of the Unexpected. Can anybody remember that in the UK in the 70s? I think it used to come on a Sunday night. Tales of the Unexpected. And I'm getting a creepy vibe. And I'm sort of seeing a big posh house. And I'm seeing people with like the masks on. And I'm getting sort of like sex parties. Tales of the Unexpected. So I know this is like the Wheel of Fortune. You've got the cherubs there, but that's like the younger people. That could be like the Oriente boys. What is that? Within that kaleidoscope, there's so many different things have gone on in this house. Like Eyes Wide Shut, yes. It was creepy music, that show, wasn't it? Harvest Moon. I can't play it. I literally can't play it because I'll get done for copyright. What I'll do is I'll put the link in the description after here. What else am I going to be doing? Oh yeah, Graham's link. And then you can see what I'm on about. But there's loads of things what's been covered up. Loads of things. I know this sounds really disgusting, but I'm going to say it because I'm getting it. I'm getting like spanking, dressing up, S&M, all of that type of thing. I'm telling you. They're all at it in that bloody House of Commons. Yes. Definitely tying up. Anyway, that's by the by. There's some scandal coming out, and it's got nothing to do with that. This is some scandal what's coming out, which involves the British public, where he's sort of let the country down on something, or there's going to be a scandal with him and his people around him, and it's going to be voting to get him out. Just remember that. Because they do that, you know. I mean, they got rid of Theresa May quite quickly. Right, so Venezuela is trying to take land off neighbouring country that has oil. I would say there's a lot of corruption going on over there, obviously. And I think it's going to be a long time before the swamp is cleared there. A long time. But the people of Venezuela who are worried that eventually it will get sorted, but it's going to take time. Do you know what I mean? Right, one more card and then we're going to get the world predictions because it's getting on late. I've got to be up early in the morning. I've got somebody coming to the house like a worker. Oh yeah. So again, the hyphenate, like the old man, shh, just wait. There's lots of dodgy stuff to come out there. I'm just seeing the intro to the Tales of the Unexpected, and it's this woman. I can't even do it because she's like this slim woman, and she's going like this, and she's and she's like going like that, and it's like oldie worldy, but it's quite creepy through this kaleidoscope thing. And that's the feeling I'm getting when I look at him and I try and remote view. I think, what the hell? What's going on in them parties? You know, what's going on? That's the feeling I'm getting. It's really creepy. Okay. I'm going to get straight into the world predictions because I'm starting to see visions now and it's quite crazy. Eight of Swords. It's not good for Keir Starmer. It's also, there could be a rise of a woman in the UK as well. I think Diana Dawes was in one of the episodes of Tales of the Unexpected. I think there was quite a few different stars in that. There's a lot of good, we had a lot of good TV shows back in the day, didn't we? Do you remember the Sweeney? Do you remember, what else was there? There was loads, wasn't there? Miami Vice was good, wasn't it? Starshine. Will Pope Francis or Pope John Paul become saints? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It's possible with Francis. I don't know much on John Paul. I hope we don't get Raina either, but she's come through a few times. No, it's somebody else. Unless it's the woman from the opposition, from the Tory side. There's a woman to rise within Parliament. I don't know where she's coming in from, just remember that. It's going to get quite interesting. Oh, hello, hello. I used to like watching Bergerac. And anybody used to watch Bergerac? So it was actually filmed on the island of Jersey. It's I used to like the music to it. Oh, massively into Starsky and Hutch when I was younger. And All Creatures Great and Small, yes. Sometimes I think as well when things get too much, guys, I think that if you just switch off from it all and just go back and watch something. I have been watching the All Creatures Great and Small, the newer version, the modern version of it. It's really good. The girl who plays his wife, she was in Hollyoaks. Really pretty girl. But it's really good. Juliet Bravo, yeah. There was loads, wasn't there? One Foot in the Grave was hilarious. And sometimes I think it's just, I used to love watching the Golden Girls. I remember when Luke was a baby, I used to, when I had my first flat, and I used to put him to bed and give him like his last bottle, and then I used to watch Prisoners. I used to love watching Prisoner Cell Block H. It was an Australian thing, what was on. I used to love watching that. Remember, everything is frequency, everything is energy. So if you feed into the negative at the minute, sometimes that can change it by rising, so we're not feeding into this loosh what they're putting out on the news at the moment. Do you know what I mean? They're wanting my energy. They really are. When I talk about they are wanting our energy, I'm talking about the darker side of life. The archons, the devils, the demons, you know, they want us to be all angry, you know. The best thing you can do is to get your music on in your house, or go in the garden and play with your plants, or be around nature, or walk the dog, or be around family, you know. Just sometimes, whoops, the simpler things in life. Okay. There is going to be massive, massive change to come. I feel 2026 is going to be a roller coaster. But I'm actually feeling the start of some crazy events to take place. So I'm going to go with my visions. This is so crazy, right? So I'm going with visions, right? And sometimes I can't ask the crystal ball. I can just go with what the crystal ball's shown us. But I'm seeing explosions everywhere. It's not natural what I'm seeing. It's not natural. And it's weird explosions. It's not normal explosions. I think we need to prep, we need to prepare, and I do think this winter is going to be a cold winter, depending on where you live in the world, like, you know what I mean? So I did predict about the drones. I might not have called them the drones, but I do feel that there's something else coming, and it's there's something else coming from the sky. I don't know if it's the drones again, but it's something different. They're a different shape. There's something else coming from the sky, but there's something reacting on the ground. And then people are all talking about it. It's going to be on YouTube and TikTok, and within the conspiracy movements, everyone's going to be talking about there's something strange going to take place. I also think we're going to get some crazy weather this year. I think that there's going to be a lot of storms, worries around the US. Okay. I also get that there's going to be an incident to do with Korea. Now, I don't know if that's South Korea or North Korea, but there's an incident coming. I think it's South Korea, but there's an incident coming with Korea, so remember that. I also think that Benjamin Netanyahu has gone very quiet. So I've talked about this a few weeks ago, where I felt that there was still something else brewing there. God bless the children around the world on every way, even in Gaza. I think that we need to send love and light out everywhere. There should have been peace talks by now. I don't know what's going on over with Ukraine and Russia. But I always felt that he's going to change his direction, Putin, and go elsewhere into a different direction. So there's still something brewing there, where I feel that there's an incident to do with the East versus the East, the opposite way to the world. It could be like Russia and the Middle East. But I'm seeing in this situation, it's Russia against Israel. There's something brewing there. I feel it really, really strong. Okay. I'm seeing the whales in the sea, and I'm seeing them all bobbing up and down. You know, the black and white whales? They're the great whales. And I'm feeling there's a situation there with worry. And I've been connecting a lot with the aquatic life. Like telecommunicating, trying to connect with them. I don't know why, I'm just concerned about the seas, like we all are. And there's worry there, and why aren't they crying anymore? Why aren't they worried? There's going to be something to do with the whales and the dolphins. But there's an incident coming with the sea. I'm also fearing a germ here to hit Earth. Again, questionable. Is it man-made or what? I really don't know. But there's something else coming. There's another virus here coming in. And it's connected to do with the lights, the sky, and also to do with an incident on the ground. Remember this. I'm seeing fire and smoke and water. I know this sounds really crazy, to take what you can from it. I've seen the saints there looking down from earth. And I've just seen baby Jesus there. I'm seeing visions. This is crazy. This is crazy. Right. It's as if I'm the ET and I'm looking down. I'm looking from through their eyes onto earth. And they're showing me through the years of what's took place on earth. And then bring it up to modern day. Give us 2 minutes a minute. What the hell am I saying here? I think I'm looking through Zatjar's eyes. That Zatjar is one of my... he's an insecticide being that I telecommunicate with. So I'm just waiting. It's hazing over. It gets a bit heavy. 2 minutes. Incident of the sea. Oh God, there's something about birds as well. I don't know if it's a bird flu or something, or we need to be careful of that. So they're showing us the incident with JFK. And what he's shown me here is that, let's hope I'm wrong, but another situation could happen like that again. It doesn't mean it's going to be successful, but he needs to be careful, Donald Trump. Okay. I sense like a tense situation on the streets of looks like New York. In all of the US, there's a tense situation that I'm seeing. And I don't know if I'm looking at it this year or into next, but it's a situation where people are scared to see who they are. And they're also showing me mass surveillance to come. There's an event to take off, and it's definitely connected with terrorism, and I see it across world news, and it's not just here in the UK, it's everywhere. And I don't know if they're using this situation to try to put more control in, but it's definitely the word terrorism's coming out here, okay? Which leads us to think that, is it some sort of black swan event type of thing? Do you see what I mean? That is, it's real and it's happening, but is it being put out there to put the masses in control? I think I'm being shown here, and what Zatjar's shown us here, that this is a situation what could take place. I was actually watching, it was either Saturday, I've been watching a load of sci-fi, distractions. I've been watching a load of sci-fi movies over the last couple of Saturday nights, over the last couple of weeks, and one of them was The War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. That's an old film. And then I watched, has anybody seen The Fifth Wave? Has anybody seen that? That's another one with extraterrestrials and frequency attack, that type of thing. And that's what I feel what could come. So there's something, but it's like we're in a war here of everybody trying to scramble for power. I do believe that Gaza's not out of the woods yet, and I do feel that there's more events to take place there, and I think that I need to send angel protection out over that area. Thank you, Sue. Okay. So it's like everything goes down, and there's going to be a problem trying to get food through. And again, it's like everything's just going to start going boom, boom, boom down. It could be from, I just see mass panic, and I see people going out to get the fuel in their cars, the oil. There's going to be all of these restrictions, what's going to take place. It's like everything's going from, when we had the COVID, and it was so they seeped it in. And we had these images which was coming out on the news, what was taking place in China. Then all of a sudden it was just everywhere, wasn't it? This is a sudden situation. This is sudden. And it's going to be warnings what's going to come through on our mobile phones. This is what I see what's going to be taking place. And it reminds us a bit like the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's an old Steven Spielberg film. I've talked about this before, where they were telling everybody to get out of the city because there was something wrong with the air. But there actually wasn't anything wrong with the air. It was because the extraterrestrial beings were coming and they didn't want people to know. So I get a situation like that. It's like there's something going to take place, and it's going to put everything to a standstill. And I've always said this, when it kicks off, go inside and shut the door. But it's actually, what's going to take place is the new earth arising from this, and the new financial system. But then I'm also seeing the new trade bridge, what's going to come in. And they all know about this. Every one of them knows about this. The new trade bridge. I'm not saying it's called that. This is what I'm calling it. So it's going to be, Donald Trump knows about it. They all know about it. And so they're trying to get rid of the old economy. And they're trying to bring it all into one world order type of thing. I think it's going to affect... Don't, baby, don't. It's okay, baby. It's okay. It's they're going to try and bring it all into effect here. This is, well, I forgot what I was going to say. I was off on the floor there. Are you all right? They all know about it. Don't no. Don't knock the stream. For her being a little girl, she's a very funny little girl. She's for knocking things off and that. I know. Do you want to go to bed? Is it your bedtime? Am I going to go to bed? They all know about it. So they have to break the old food chain, because this is draining of the swamp. So the food chain is massive once they start going into that. And the crimes, what's been taking place. So they have to break that down to bring in the new everything. It's going to affect the dollar. It's going to affect the euro, the pound. They're trying to phase cash out. This is what they're trying to do. So there'll be a lot of people bartering and that type of thing, And I wouldn't be surprised for a short time. I'm not saying this is everywhere, but there could be certain countries or places where there could be food restrictions, or what is it they had in there, rationing in the war type of thing. Okay, so the 7th's coming out really, really strong. And the 29th and the 30th, I want you to remember that. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. But tonight, this is really strange what I'm being shown. So there's something going off in the air, like where we could see the drones before. But it's also activating something on the ground. Okay? Remember that. And it's just a weird events taking place. Weird events. But once everything settles down, it'll be more out in the open, and then people are going to have a choice. At the minute, they're trying to control without the choice. So there's a battle going on behind the scenes. It's all going on behind the scenes type of thing. Okay? And then when it all comes out, it's a choice that we're going to have. Because they're not going to be able to deny it. So this world 10 years from now is going to be unrecognisable. Unrecognisable. Okay, a lot of robots as well. I see a lot of robots on the streets and stuff like that. So I do think it's more like a frequency. It's a trade war, but it's also going to be there's a frequency war what's being used on now, and we don't realise it. But I think that there is going to be something like that to take place, where you would have to watch the film The Fifth Wave. Okay, so you need to watch that. And what Dave's just put here in Dave Muirhead, what's just put here on YouTube, I think the surveillance and control will be off the scale eventually. And not always for the best reasons. Yeah, they're going to try and control they definitely will. And like I've always said, when it kicks off, just go inside and close the door. And this is what's going to activate the new Earth rising. Because there's going to be people who will refuse when it all comes out. There's going to be more cyber security. There's going to be a lot more things what's going to take place within the internet, because the new internet's going to come in as well. It's going to be super duper new internet, and it's going to bring us up to scratch to where we are, because we're actually not in 2025. I think we're a lot more further on than that, but they've just held us back. But it also the new technology is going to also track a lot of child traffickers, because there's this hidden network's a lot bigger than we really know. But then people are going to argue the fact that everyone's being tracked, but we're being tracked anyway. But then there's going to be a choice once it comes out in the open if you want to be in it or not. Does that make sort of sense? We're going through a very strange transition on the earth at the moment. Now this is just random what's come in here. I see Tim Walsh, is that his name? Just saying something like a statement on something. There's something big coming out within the Democratic Party. And I've just seen Newsom. Is he running into 2028? I don't know why I'm getting that. Is he running? See him a lot more on the news, and that's going to be pushing him more. Okay. I think it's fading out now. When it kicks off, go inside and shut the door. We are about to go into a new earth, and it's where I want to say that space is connecting with religion. It's all starting to come together. It's really weird what I'm seeing at the minute. Well, I've just seen some big news there coming out with Elon Musk. We're a lot more far advanced than we know. And Japan plays a big part of this, you know. Japan is really into all this space stuff. In technology. Rise of the Robots is going to possibly start off in Japan, and it's going to take off from there. This is crazy. This is bloody crazy. I've seen robots serving McDonald's. Can you believe that? I see robots. I'm not saying it's in the US, but it might take off there. But definitely in Japan and places like that. Is the McDonald's in Japan? They're in Dubai and that, aren't they? But I see around the world robots into the future serving McDonald's. I just thought I'd tell you that. So a lot of the futuristic weaponry, Russia's got, God, I see these dog things, that robot dogs. It's the rise of the robots, guys. You've got no idea what's coming in here. I think that what we need to do is we just need to keep grounded, keep your faith, and knowing that it will pan out in the end, but it's going to get crazy. Okay. There's a wave coming. There's a massive... Let's give us 2 minutes. I thought somebody was beeping in there. There's just huge changes ahead. And I do feel that we're in for some roller coaster rides. It's more like that we're getting some news. It's the only way I can describe it, and it's coming in. Boom. I want you to remember this. Boom. Out of the blue. Boom. And they're talking about it, and there's some sort of alert on the phones. It's on the news. Remember, don't panic. And remember, this is the event that I've been talking about for a while. But it's a distraction. But it's the start of the roll into the great crossover. And I'm going to leave that one with you. The great crossover from old Earth into the new futuristic technology. So they'll create an event to try to control to try to keep the masses under control, to take into it. But the best thing you can see is no, and I'm going to leave that one with you. Just go inside, shut the door, get your board games, get your candles, and have your popcorn, guys, because it's about to get crazy. I hope I've helped you tonight, and I'm off to make a hot chocolate, and I'll see you all again soon. This world is about to change. This world is about to change into something which is quite ugly at the moment, but I do feel eventually we will get there. At the end result, a cleaner earth, a safer earth. We've got to fight to get so they don't control it. But people who are in the crystal grid and people who are not. People who choose to be in that AI world, and then people who choose to not. But there's a choice. And there's a cleaner food. There's cleaner seas. Because when it all comes out, we're going to have a better earth and more choice. But expect the unexpected. And I will find the tales of the unexpected. I'm still chuckling about that, and laughing about it. And I'll put that in the description when I come off here and I start editing. But take care, guys. And I'll see you all again soon. May the force be with you all. Goodbye now. Now, how do I get out of here? Oh, yes. See you soon. Bye.